Merab is not going to win your vote today for the greatest 135-pound ever. But it's an interesting argument. Guys have to have a certain level of dynamicness to win your vote for the greatest of their weight class, or they got to be really consistent to the point of somebody like Khabib, where they just prove the point so much that you accept it. Now, when I tell you that, I don't want Merab to not get the credit. Merab told us 5 days ago in an interview, and none of us believed him, that he was going to beat Cory Sandhagen by outstriking him. Now, I understand that Merab did some terrific groundwork. I understand that Merab did plenty of wrestling. I want you to understand that if you take all of that out and you just look at the striking, Merab outstruck him. And he doesn't do it with the same dynamicness, and you're not going to have a flying knee, and he's not going to Anthony Pettis up the wall and kick you on the mouth. I understand all those things, but it's the basics that win championships. You keep your chin down, you put your hands up, you move forward, you pressure the guy, you throw punches and bunches, you lead with a jab, you follow with a cross, you dip to the body, you come back upstairs. I mean, it's the basics that win championships, and I just thought that what Merab did tonight was so spectacular. I can't give you an analysis of this without complimenting Sandhagen. Sandhagen possibly is the only guy that I have seen lose every minute of every round of a 5-round fight and look dog tough doing it. Sandhagen never backed down once. Sandhagen's wrestling wasn't as bad as what you might think. I mean, those were big attacks by Merab, and Sandhagen also, from a wrestling perspective, turned over, came up to his feet 100% of the time. There was chances for Sandhagen to check out of that fight. In the second round, which was judged a 10-8, at least by Mike Bell, and that was the judge that I agreed with, the referee could have stepped in and stopped that, right? He could have. That could have been a TKO, but Sandhagen found a way to stay in there. Sandhagen deserves a ton of credit. He really did a great job. Sandhagen not only showed why he was the top contender, why he was getting the fight. Sandhagen might be the most improved bantamweight that we've seen in the last 2 years, but still not enough to get over on Merab. And when you have that level of pace, look, in every sport, there's a level of it that is like a dance in terms of one person is going to lead at a time. And generally in a fight, there's an unspoken, you're going to go and I'm going to be on defense and we'll see if that, but then I'm going to give you my shot. Maybe I'll take 2 shots, but then I got to pause and you're going to go. Just from a conditioning standpoint, one guy just can't go the entire time. But Merab can. And he has weaponized pace. The first time that we ever saw this in MMA, it was done by Randy Couture. Randy Couture was the first guy that came over and really was a world-class athlete and brought those same fundamentals of discipline, of training, of approach, of strategy, and came from the world of wrestling, the world of the mentality of the Dan Gables of the world. And Randy's the first guy to weaponize pace. That then was a trait that was passed on to Georges St. Pierre, and that was a pace, a trait that was then adopted by Khabib. But now we're seeing this from Merab, and it's just a very difficult thing to keep up with. There's no way to plan for it. There's no way to prepare for it. When one guy is constantly on defense, when one guy is constantly on offense, another guy is constantly on defense. I mean, you'll hear these slogans all the time, that the best offense is a good defense. You'll hear that, but they're just things you say, because nobody can do it. Nobody can be on offense the entire time, in any sport, any way you want to do it. Baseball, basketball, football, any way that you want to do it. And in MMA, I just don't know that we have seen it aside from the elite names. We had seen Randy Couture at points doing that. We have seen Georges St. Pierre very consistently do it. We have seen Khabib do it, but I'm talking about the greats ever, and now I'm throwing Merab's name in there. And what in the hell do you do with Merab now? Because Merab's in an interesting spot, guys. Don't forget, as great as he is, and he is great, and not to mention, he's a star. I mean, I can tell you, being in that building, this place popped for him. They popped for him at the weigh-ins, at the press conferences. People loved him. He was still a co-main event. There's no way around it. He was still a co-main event. Any excuse that you want to give, and there was 2 title fights and Alex Pereira, he was still a co-main event. So I reached out to Sean O'Malley. I said, man, give me some help here. Let me name drop you. Let me mention that we had a conversation, just a way of helping the debate with Merab. What do you do? O'Malley said, give me anybody. And after I beat him, then let me have Merab. I admit that I've got to earn it. Give me anybody and I'll earn it. And then he said, but Chael, let me speak to you plainly. He said, Mario Batista's getting ready to fight Umar Nurmagomedov. Let that fight happen. And if Mario beats him, let Mario have the opportunity. And I thought that that was a very true and a very honest answer. And I also think that it's very likely what the UFC is going to go with. I know that we all, the moment a fight is done, we love to match make what's next. It's a question, it can never miss, and Dana has to say the same thing every time of let's see what happens, right? We can never get anywhere with it, but we as fans, we love to do it. I think Sean is correct. I think you take your oars out of the water. I think you let Merab have his 15 minutes, let Merab enjoy this. And then let the division unfold a little bit, because it's not the only possible matchup. Peter Yan is also a very interesting matchup, but it's a rematch, right? I mean, you start to be looking for parity, so you keep your fingers crossed, you let us see what happens, you see how Mario Batista can do. Maybe you've got to rematch Umar, maybe you got to rematch Peter Yan. But I think that Sean makes a very good point, which is before you get busy making demands of Merab, before we start moving him up to 145 or dropping him down to 125 and talking about champ status, let Mario have an opportunity with Umar. And that sounds right. I must tell you, that sounds right to me.